Oh, well, that's on recording. No. So I didn't script this out at all. This is off the dome, so you get to suffer with me. Also, I'm having a lot of sneezes right now, so let's hope that's not a problem throughout this. But yeah, welcome to the self-assessment. I don't have a camera on my PC, so you just get my voice. I apologize. But anyways, let's jump right into this. So the organization of this is going to be as it is shown in like the actual Canvas page, which is I'm going to talk about my speaking abilities, reading abilities, writing abilities, listening abilities, and cultural understanding before finally like reflecting on all of that and how I did in the class. So let's just get started right away. The first aspect was speaking abilities, which is to initiate and respond verbally to simple statements, ask and answer questions, and participate in simple conversations about familiar topics with sufficient accuracy in punctuation and grammar as to be understood by persons accustomed to interacting with learners of Spanish. And I'm gonna be so real, I'm not the best like speaker. I feel like out of like reading, writing, listening, speaking is like the one I'm weakest in. But I'm gonna be so real. I did so much better in like the speaking exam than I thought I was going to. So maybe I was like doubting myself a little bit more than I needed. I was gonna give myself a 1, which is I need more work to achieve this learning outcome. But I think I got a solid 2. Like I achieved this learning outcome, but I don't feel completely confident that I could use it in a real life situation, which is why I'm not giving myself a 3. I mean, it's hard to explain because my voice recorded into a transcript, and for sometimes it just didn't understand me. I could have been pronouncing stuff wrong. I feel like I wasn't though. I don't know. I still feel like the video play recording was a decent representation of my speaking abilities. I mean, I was like definitely randomly trying to piece stuff together throughout that, and I wasn't completely confident in it. But I had an okay enough time doing that. It was a little annoying, though, I'll be honest. It was a fun assignment, but it had its flaws. I still give myself a 2. Next is the reading abilities. Read simple, edited, written material on topics related to everyday uses, the Spanish language, and Hispanic culture. And then use the following scale again. I think reading is probably the aspect I'm strongest in. Like I had a lot of fun doing the extended reading assignments. Surprisingly, I thought that I was not going to since I'm in like a higher level class now. But I mean, I have an okay time with reading since you can just look for, I'm blanking on the word right now, the words that look similar in Spanish and English. I definitely know it. I forgot it. And just use context clues to fill in sentences that you're not completely sure about. So I did that a lot. I actually had a relatively decent time, and then I had the time over break to do the extra credit for the extensive reading, which I wasn't mad about at all. I had fun enough doing the extensive readings that I didn't mind like doubling the amount for the extra credit. And honestly, as I'm like, since I live in New Mexico, there's like a lot of signs and stuff in Spanish. I'm finding myself being able to like read like warning signs, and like I went to the zoo and I could read like the pamphlets on animals and stuff, like the Spanish side. So I do know for a fact that I can use what I learned in a real life situation. So I do think I have a 3 in this one. And for my 2 favorite extensive readings, there was I'm doing this off memory. I'm actually not looking back right now, so I'm doing the ones that like I can remember the most. I think there were 2 space ones. One of them was why the moon keeps a consistent distance from the Earth, and I just like space-related things in general, so I found that very interesting. Oh yeah, and then the other one was another space-related one, which is what is the closest planet to Earth, which it was like kind of a trick question because the article was saying that on average the closest planet is Mercury, which makes sense if you think about how planets orbit the sun in like different speeds. But that was interesting, so that was a cool extensive reading. Number 4 is writing abilities. Write short, coherent compositions on familiar topics with sufficient accuracy in grammar, spelling, punctuation, and vocabulary as to be understood by persons accustomed to speaking with learners of Spanish. Again, I think I would have gotten a 2 on this. I actually have a composition laying beside me right now. I don't remember what grades I got in either of them, but I think I got very similar grades on both of them, which was like 75 to 80s or something, which ain't great, but I'm gonna be so real. My biggest shortcoming was in grammar. I feel like my spelling, punctuation, vocabulary are pretty okay, but I am lacking in grammar, such as like conjugations. Those still need some work. I mean, like, I could piece stuff together where, like, someone could try to get what I was saying, but, like, my tenses might be a little bit off, So, no, I'm not completely confident in a real-life situation, but I do think that, all in all, I do have more of a 2 than a 1. And then we have listening abilities. Understand the main idea and some of the supporting details of spoken Spanish intended for beginning college students regarding topics related to their daily life. I'm a little conflicted on this one because I think I did do a good job in the listening assignments, but I didn't do too great in the listening test. Now, I think this was partially how they were structured answer-wise because the listening assignments were all multiple choice, so I just had to listen for keywords, whereas the actual exam was like you had to actually be listening like to the broader like meaning of the whole video. And I think that goes to tell me that I would not be confident using it in a real life situation. I mean, as the speakers start to talk faster or like the video quality and like sound quality goes down, I have a lot more trouble listening. So I think I have another 2 here, to be honest. And as for my favorite listening exercise, there was one about like the natural environment and natural disasters, and I'm doing this off the dome, so I don't remember what country it was. I'll put up the screenshot of the one I did, but it was of natural disasters like volcanoes and hurricanes and earthquakes in one of the Central American countries, one of the smaller ones. It was like Belize or something like that. If it's not Belize, that's a little embarrassing. But what's funny is this is like the one I remember the most details about, but I don't remember what country it is, which is kind of an important detail. But I just enjoyed that one because I could actually understand a fair amount what I was hearing. And I've taken climate change classes. I was originally a geology major before switching to communications. So just natural disasters in general are somewhat interesting to me. And number 6, cultural understanding. Understand some significant cultural traits of the Spanish-speaking world, customs, lifestyles, attitude, geography, famous people, etc., and show cultural competence. Doing the assignments, like the alternative to like the roleplay video, which was the like dialect chatbot, I think that was interesting because that gave me a lot of cultural understanding to different dialects and how Spanish isn't just like a one-size-fits-all for each country. They each have their own words, sentence structures, pronunciations, and that was just very interesting to learn about this semester. So I think in that aspect, I did achieve this learning outcome. I'm interested in learning more about Spanish culture. I'm from New Mexico. We have our own Spanish culture there. We have our own dialect of Spanish, which I can't understand because I only know like college taught Spanish, so I don't know the New Mexican dialect. But also I did go to a few cultural events. I just like didn't take any pictures or proof of them, which is why I couldn't turn in that assignment because I'm a little slow sometimes. But I went to I think almost every single night where they were doing the Hispanic food at the Dube. I don't remember any of the names of them. But there's this one. It was like the candied caramelized milk and like the cookies. Yeah, with the alfrijoles, according to my roommate, who has a better memory than I do. Shout out to him. Oh my god, those were delicious. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll put a picture of them up on screen. So, but oh my god, those were good. And I made my mom make some for my birthday. So I'd say that was a life-changing Hispanic cultural experience for me. Yeah, just all in all, I think on average, I'm like an average 2 in this class out of the scale. I'm like pretty competent. I achieved learning outcomes, but for the most part, I would not be very I would not feel confident using them in real life situations. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I did enjoy this class more than the past semesters. Some of the assignments in this were a lot more engaging and at least I think more useful than some of the past classes. No shade thrown at those teachers, of course. But the assignment where we learned about the different dialects was actually very interesting, and I enjoyed that one a lot.